I guarantee you, if you gave a lie detector test to the NCAA brass and they said, would you be okay with Notre Dame not making the college football playoff? They would flunk so damn hard that like the machine would break. Welcome to episode 293 of Empty the Bench here on the Empty the Bench podcast network presented by Playback. He's Zain Bando. I'm Nick Morgasen. Follow us on social media at ETB Sports, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok at ETB Sports. Follow the Empty the Bench network at ETB Network, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok at ETB Network. Make sure to like and subscribe on our YouTube channel, 1,040 subscribers and counting. And we also have a watch hours goal. We're trying to get to 4,000 hours. So please go to our YouTube channel and watch and subscribe and help us out there. If you can't watch on the video side, listen to Empty the Bench wherever you get your podcasts, whether that's Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or any other audio podcasts that we are available on. Empty the Bench is presented by Playback, playback.tv/ETB Network. The NBA season is now fully back, so we're doing tons of NBA games, whether it's NBC games or Peacock exclusive games or Prime Video games or ESPN. Check us out as we do that. We're doing the World Series as well. Check us out as we go on that journey and so on and so forth. So check us out over there. Okay. So a lot of news this week. College is going to dominate the landscape once again, as we had a major firing happen again. I think we're up to like 8 or 9 college football coaches being fired.
At least four Power 4 coaches, like 4 major Power 4 coaches, I think. But yeah, around 8 or 9 total firings.
And if I saw the numbers before, it's like $170 million in buyouts so far this college football season. It's an insane number.
Oh, yeah.
Also, we'll get into the NBA betting scandal that's rocking the sports landscape currently. I've talked about this a little bit already on Press Row. I've talked about this a little bit on a couple of other platforms. This scandal is worse than the Tim Donaghy referee scandal. This is worse than the Jonte Porter scandal that just happened last year, where he got banned from the NBA. There's mafia involved. There's 3 Italian crime families that are involved. There's NBA players and former NBA players that are involved.
With at least 2 of those crime families, you would probably know this better than me. 2 of them that are actually quite prominent, right?
Yeah, and we're going to break that all down because there's a lot going on. And now there's an NFL player involved, not active, but a Hall of Fame NFL player that is involved. That's been reported, and there's some NBA Hall of Fame. There's a lot. We'll recap Week 8 on the NFL calendar. Somehow my team finally decided to wake up and not be winless anymore.
And my team, unfortunately, didn't win against a backup quarterback, so that was very disappointing. And forgot how to move the ball for most of the game.
Yes. There was a lot of weird storylines from Week 8, so we'll get into all of that. We'll get into the early NFL playoff outlook, because can you believe we're halfway through the NFL season?
Yeah, I figured it'd be a good time to throw it in there. So we're going to give you our way too early thoughts on where we think the playoff picture sits, where we think it might change going into this second half of the year. So it'll be a nice transition point, if you will. It should be an interesting conversation, I'm sure. And as well, speaking of interesting, figured we wouldn't be talking about something as crazy as this, but unfortunately, the highly anticipated UFC main event from this past Saturday did not have a winner in a very anticlimactic ending.
And I told you my opinion on how I thought the outcome should have. They need to change the rules on when a DQ happens, but we'll get into that. We'll also get into the AP poll. Unfortunately, your Fighting Illini are out of the top 25 poll for the first time.
For the second time, actually.
For second time, yeah.
They were out after losing to Ohio State, and and then they got back in without even playing a game, and now they're out again. So
And then we'll get into actually our obviously our Thursday night football picks, and we'll give you a little look into the first couple games of the World Series, which actually has been pretty decent so far. So let's get
and we can also gloat. Speaking of Thursday night, we can also gloat on how we actually got our pick right last week.
We were on the money, if I'm not mistaken, too, on that over.
Yeah, we were.
So that was what? That was Vikings Chargers, right?
Yes, sir. That is correct.
I think that was over 44 and a half
Yep.
points. All right, so let's get underway with the show. Obviously, Brian Kelly fired from LSU after a loss to Texas A&M. This is probably up there with James Franklin being fired as one of the, what would you say, high profile
Well, this is
firing.
this I think is bigger than James Franklin because there was so much expectation for Brian Kelly coming over from Notre Dame to LSU 4 years ago. He was quoted a year ago as saying that he was keeping receipts and that we'll see you guys in Miami for the national championship. And it's not even before Halloween, and he's ousted. This was a disaster. It was such a disaster. We don't even have it on the banner. This is how much of a disaster it is. He was fired last night officially, and then his offensive coordinator was canned this morning. So,
Well, you're just so people knows because this comes out on Wednesday.
yep,
So he got fired on Sunday night,
yep.
and then the news officially came through on Monday officially.
Mm-hmm.
Um, there's some weird things that I remember. So to go back to his hiring, was this the time that he had the weird incident with the fake accent when he came
Yeah,
on?
he had the weird incident with the fake accident, weird incident with the plagiarized video
Yes,
from Notre Dame. I don't know if you remember. It was the
I do.
exact same video that he just took out all the effects and they made it LSU. And then he had the whole incident where he made that rap music video with that one
Yes.
recruit.
Yes. I,
And
it,
then the recruit didn't even commit.
he's an odd individual, and
Then he had that whole incident a couple weeks ago after they won at home, and he got pissed at the reporter. Which, by the way, the reporter had a legitimate question. He's like, why are you guys struggling to run the ball?" And all he wanted to talk about was, "Oh, we won the game." Blah, blah, blah.
yes. Oh no, I remember that viral press conference. Don't you worry. I remember when that hit, and you and I were talking, and you said, "Why is he getting so angry over like winning the game?" And I think he was talking about his quarterback and all this
Yeah.
stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But so obviously, like you
But
said,
in the reporter's defense, though, it was a legitimate question because they were struggling mightily to run the ball. So his point was he didn't frame it the right way, but his point was, "Hey, you guys won, but you guys still can't run the ball. How are you? How are you going to fix?"
I guess to one small defense though, isn't it about winning games, not necessarily how you get there?
Yeah,
Though, so
yeah.
that if I have to give one tiny defense to Brian Kelly, you won the game. So does it really matter if you ran the football or if you threw the ball for 500 yards? I mean, but he's not having a good season. That's why.
I don't know if you saw the post game press conference after the A&M loss, but he looked like a defeated human.
Yeah, I
Like
did.
you could just tell, and he goes, this is before he was fired, of course. He's like, I need to fix this. I need to turn this around. He was saying all the right things, not even knowing what was coming next. I think people were just as surprised as everybody else that he was fired.
I mean, it also didn't help that Texas A&M scored 35 unanswered points to
No, and it
to win.
doesn't help either that with 2 minutes to go in the half, they were running the ball with no timeouts instead of throwing it down by 4. Did you see?
I
Did you
did.
see that?
I
Yeah,
did. Um, but 35 unanswered points to win in Tiger Stadium for the first time since 1994.
yeah.
I mean, that should red flag you right there. Like,
I think so too. And it's
um,
A&M's best record in over 40 years. It's their even better than any of the Manziel teams. This is their best start in a long time.
now, because you mentioned Notre Dame before, because when he coached, didn't he also leave awkwardly from Notre Dame also?
He did, yeah.
I don't remember. I don't remember exactly how, but I just remember like he kind of just walked off the job, so to speak.
Yeah, he would just like abruptly left. He's like, "Yeah, I'm going to LSU."
Well, wouldn't have there had to be a buyout situation of some sort there?
I don't remember the specifics of that. I just remember it being weird.
But there were some odd things like when it came to like his contract situation, and I want to pull that up too because Nick D and I were talking about it the other night, and when I read the buyout, I said, "This is insane." Some of this, because like he got like a car, he got a a, a fixed loan to live in Louisiana. Like he had all these weird subsidized things that he was getting through his contract. And did you know he signed a 10-year deal in 2021?
Yeah, I
Don't you
did.
think isn't that kind of insane for a college football coach though?
Yeah.
So it says the deal was 10 years, 95 million in salary, 90% of which was guaranteed. Sounds like a lot, doesn't it?
Oh yeah.
I'm just looking through to see if there's any other weird things. But yeah, he got a car, he got a house, he got all these weird things. But what does LSU do from here? Because like I see some top recruits that or top candidates that they're thinking now. Obviously, the big name that's being talked about now is obviously Ole Miss coach Lane Kiffin,
Yeah.
who has had to address the rumors with.
And there's also rumors of Lane Kiffin going to Florida too. That's also a rumor.
So apparently, he's had to address the rumors with his team because they've been so bad that like it's leaking all over the place. Um, I think he'd be an idiot to leave Old Miss. I think that's a mistake. I don't know what you think about it, but why would he leave Old Miss, right?
Well, no, Ole Miss is actually really good. Were you thinking of Florida?
No, I'm saying why would Lane leave Old Miss? I think that would be stupid.
No, no, no. I completely agree. I was just saying, did you know that Ole Miss is actually quite good?
No,
The
that's what
only,
I'm saying. Like
yeah, yeah.
he has got a good program going on there. Why would he leave to go to Florida, which is in blow up mode right now? And why would he go to what was the other school they mentioned? Florida and but I guess Penn State. But
Yeah, he wouldn't do that.
I think that would destroy his reputation going to Penn State. I
Oh,
think.
oh yeah, they'd become the most hated team in America.
And I don't think Florida's a good fit for him, to be quite honest.
I don't think so either.
So, and then they had other options like John Summerall from Tulane,
He's a decent coach, but he doesn't have a personality though.
and then the one that confused me, Marcus Freeman from Notre Dame.
That would be so stupid. Why would he do that? They just went to the national championship last season.
Right. And then they had Georgia Tech coach Brent Key. I don't know much about Georgia Tech.
Brent
Uh,
Key's a very good coach. I could see him bolting because he's gotten Georgia Tech to a place where they won't win any national titles anytime soon, and I think he's completed the turnaround. I don't. I see that being a real possibility.
and he'd get paid, that's for sure.
Oh yeah,
Um, and I've never heard of this coach, Missouri coach
Eli
Elijah Drinkowitz.
Drinkwitz. Yeah, he's a good coach. He won't leave Missouri. I don't think.
So basically, it looks like LSU is going to have to kind of build a coach kind of within, right?
I think so, at least for right now.
Because I mean, LSU is going to go make a splash hire because it's LSU. It's a big job,
Imagine
but
if they rehired Ed Ogeron.
see, you're the fifth person to say that to me. Like my trainer said that to me when I went to go work out. Like that, he's like, would they hire Ed Ogeron to be the job? And I was like, oh crap, I forgot that he's the one with the obnoxiously low voice.
The way you just did the voice was so funny.
And I'm like, well, he reminded me, he's like, when they asked him about what was it, when he went to the national championship game And he's like, how are you feeling about the game? And he's like, 2 words, Joe Burrow. And I'm
Yeah.
like, and I said, wow, I feel old. I remember that
Yeah,
slightly,
no kidding.
but I don't know. Like Brian Kelly,
Do you think his career is over? What do you think?
no, because Brian Kelly will end up somewhere. We all know he will.
Where
Could
do you think he'll end up?
I'm going to throw out a ridiculous thing. Could you see Brian Kelly going to Penn State?
Could I see Brian Kelly going to Penn State? Honestly, I actually think I wouldn't be surprised.
Because Brian Kelly's taking on every other ridiculous job out there.
And Penn State is a very polarizing football program.
So just add a
for
polarizing person to it. It's fine.
Yeah, yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, this
You wouldn't talk about hated teams. They would even be a more hated team in America if they hired him than they did Lane Kiffin. Lane Kiffin, they might actually be likable considering Lane Kiffin has turned himself around a little bit, personally.
so the other question I think we got to talk about too is obviously because of the new recruiting rules, and also like when a coach leaves, you have the window to transfer out into.
You're gonna see a lot of guys transfer, I think.
I mean, did anyone really care about Brian Kelly? Like were they there because of Brian Kelly at LSU or no?
No, I think they were there because of the brand mystique of LSU. I don't know. I think Brian Kelly adds to it.
Because I heard a lot of people like were pissed at Penn State when James Franklin was let go.
Oh yeah, a lot of people were.
Like,
Oh
and
yeah.
I think they, if I'm not mistaken, they had a top recruit that was committed to Penn State decommit, didn't they?
Yeah.
So I don't know if LSU had any big commits that are going to decommit because of this. But
I'm not sure. At least not that I've seen. I haven't seen any.
I mean, they have a huge list of guys that they're saying could be out the door, depending on when Brian. Well, now that he's fired, but I don't know. This is par for the course. What did I tell you at the beginning of the show? 170 million in buyouts for coaches already this college football season.
Mm-hmm.
Like, like this is abnormal, right?
It is.
Like, I'm assuming this has to do with all the NIL nonsense and having all the money, and
Yes.
because in the past you wouldn't see coaches getting bought out at this historical rate.
No, no way.
So,
And
I,
usually how it used to work is the coach would coach the season and then they'd get fired and they wouldn't coach the bowl game. That's how it would work. But they would at least finish the season within the program before getting fired.
well, right, because it's not like the NBA or Major League Baseball or even the NFL where you come in and you have to hit the ground running to keep the team afloat.
Right,
Like,
exactly.
like college football, like if your program gets blown up and your coach gets fired, like you can't do anything until the next season. So that's kind of the big problem. I mean, who do you think they're going to hire? Do you have any guess of who you think they might go after?
LSU.
Yeah.
They would need to go over after a splashy name. Maybe they snag Will Stein, the offensive coordinator from Oregon, to go there. I actually think that'd be interesting. I think he's a really good offensive coordinator. I mean, hey, I said it a couple weeks ago. I don't know if he would do it, but I'm just saying, Barry Lenny Jr., the offensive coordinator at Illinois, used to be Brett Bielema's offensive coordinator at Arkansas. If he wants to go back to the SEC, he has a job open. He has a couple of jobs open.
Now, we talked about this name, especially another one, because of the lawsuit situation that he faced. But would Pat Fitzgerald be a fit at LSU?
No, no way.
No. What, not big enough?
Absolutely. Not big enough. He's Big Ten through and through. I don't think he fits the SEC culture.
Even if it meant getting a job?
I agree.
No, I'm saying even if it meant getting a job, he wouldn't jump to it.
I don't think so. No, he doesn't fit. He doesn't fit that. He doesn't fit that rah rah culture. He likes old school, pound the rock football. the SEC isn't like that. It's pageantry, it's glitz and glamour. The Big Ten is more old school. I don't think he would jolt for that.
Okay. I guess we'll have to keep our eyes on that.
What do you think? Do you agree or do you disagree?
I mean, it would definitely put Pat Fitzgerald back in the spotlight. That's for sure.
Well, listen to this. So Kirby Smart, the Georgia coach, at his weekly press conference, here's a quote courtesy of the next round. I coached at LSU. A guy once told me, he said, quote, that office you're in, that's not your office. You're borrowing it. I knew right then if you didn't win, you wouldn't be there long. And that was his opinion on Brian Kelly being fired.
So he's basically saying that you're living on borrowed time as the head coach of LSU,
Yes.
which is not good because then that means you have no
You have no wiggle room to mess up.
wiggle room or any trust from the upper brass
Right.
either. So why would any big name want to coach there at this point if that's the case? Which it sounds like he basically exposed LSU's top brass on coach decision making. But we'll see how this unfolds. They're going to get some big name. We just don't know who.
One other thing.
Yeah.
Do not be surprised if this is a name I haven't thrown out, but do not be surprised if Dan Lanning, the Oregon coach, thinks the money's too good to pass up and he leaves Eugene, because honestly, leaving Oregon, and I could see this, leaving Oregon for LSU would be a big deal, because if you really think about it, Oregon, they're a good football program, but the reason why people know them is because of the whole Nike mystique. If he left Oregon, Oregon would be instantly irrelevant. So just keep that in mind. If he wants the biggest coaching job he's ever had, him getting hired at LSU would be a huge deal.
I think he would take that program to a new height if he ended up in LSU.
I think he would too. So I'm just saying, don't be surprised. Outlier possibility, Dan Lanning leaves the Big Ten for the SEC, and that's the difference between him and Pat Fitzgerald, is that Dan Lanning would be inheriting a culture of winning, where Pat Fitzgerald was just okay with getting by with 6, 7, 8 wins every year. Whereas Dan Lanning wins conference titles and wins 10, 11 games every season.
Would that theory apply then for James Franklin, though, what you're saying about Pat Fitzgerald? Because of the Big Ten?
Yeah, I'd say so.
So you're saying that if he took another job, it would be Big Ten, and that's it?
Yeah, I think so.
Which means he might not really see a job then, if that's the case, right?
I would argue that, yes.
Okay. Let's move on to the scandal that is rocking the sports world, which is the NBA betting scandal. So, in case you've been living under a rock, and if you are, I apologize. That means you've missed a lot. So obviously we had the huge betting scandal that happened with the 3 Italian crime families, and people were saying, "Oh, it's like a mafia movie." No, it's literally the Italian mafia that is involved. There's 3 families. There's 1 current NBA player, Terry Rozier, who's probably not going to play in the NBA ever again. Chauncey Billups, who was a Hall of Famer, won titles with the Pistons, was currently the head coach of the Portland Trailblazers, and Damon Jones, who was a former NBA player and was a coach of the Miami Heat when LeBron was there, then the Lakers and the Cavs. This is an incredible scandal. I mean, where Terry Rozier was supposedly taking information and feeding it to outside gamblers, and so they could bet the under props from all the gambling sites. So that was one side of it. And then you had these illegal rigged poker games that were being done in New York and Las Vegas and LA and Miami. And Chauncey and Damon Jones were what they called face cards, meaning that they were the celebrities that were dragging lonely fish. That's what they called these people they brought in to basically lose all their money through a fraud or scam situation. Somebody lost $1.8 million in this game. Like we're talking hundreds of thousands to millions. The number they threw out was 7 to 8 million was lost
Yeah,
in this.
that's sketchy stuff, isn't it?
It's sketchy stuff, and then this thing has just gone astray and gone wild. I mean, this is an incredible gambling scheme. And last year they just had the Jonte Porter scheme where he was he was pulling himself out of games and they were betting the props on the under and he was collecting money from it. He got banned for life from the NBA. So he
Oh
can
yeah.
never come back. And then for almost a little over a year later,
Was
to
he
have
banned from even being a spectator at games too? Like it's a full
it's a
full
full
ban,
ban.
right?
Full ban. Can't be in an NBA arena ever again.
Even for a non NBA event.
I don't know the answer to that, but I know that he's completely banned from any NBA activities for the rest of his life. So that's a bad situation. But here's the thing that makes this so wild. So prosecutors say Chauncey Billups and Damon Jones helped cheat participants out of more than $7 million through the use of X-ray tables, high-tech glasses, the ones you see in like a superhero movie,
Oh yeah, absolutely.
and other futuristic tools, which I want to pull these up just to make sure I have these properly. But you were asking me about the name of the family before. So the presidents of the mafia, or otherwise known as La Cosa Nostra, was the name of the mafia family involved.
Okay.
And they were all over the place. They had code names. And one of the operations for the card game was called Operation Royal Flush.
Wow.
Like, you know how they say sometimes criminals can act really dumb from time
Yeah.
to time?
Yeah, and then there was that sketchy Bulls game too in
You're talking
2023.
about the Blazers Bulls game, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Where they went on a 10-0 run in that game.
yeah,
And then Chauncey Billups pulls out his 37-point scorer that night and they lose the game.
yeah.
Like, come on. You can't expect us to think that's coincidence.
Did you think it was sketchy at the time or no?
I didn't really look at it that close at that point because that was 2 years ago.
Yeah.
But
I watched the game. I just remember being dumbfounded.
well, you have every right to feel dumbfounded because they haven't proven that was the actual scandal. But they said like it's just one of many notions.
So now is it going to be that like certain NBA Finals games in this whole case are going to be under investigation too and stuff like that? Or
Well,
no?
this goes all the way back to 2018. That's how far back this goes.
Okay.
The FBI has been pulling full sting operation for the last 4 to 6 years following this mafia crime scene.
Right.
This is when I tell you this has taken place over 11 states. 11 states.
Is this going to go down as the biggest scandal in the history of professional sports?
It's possible. It's very possible because on the first day of last week, when they figured this out, 5 people got arrested. The second day, 30 more people got arrested.
Wow.
And they're talking about hundreds of people getting arrested in this
What?
thing.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
And they all have names. Like they're saying it here. So LCN, the La Cosa Nostra, furthered the scheme in at least one instance by allegedly robbing an individual identified as John Doe number 7.
Oh wait, just clarify. What source are you using that way? Everybody knows?
ESPN. ESPN.
Okay.
who was initially involved with the rigged poker games of an altered deck mate one shuffling machine. So they were altering deck shuffling machines, which is not an uncommon thing for cheating, by the way. That's probably the lowest form of cheating, being able to rig a shuffler.
That is messed up.
And then it says the mafia and non-mob co-conspirators also manage many of the financial issues related to the scheme, often using numerous of the tactics that they have become infamous for. So they had some people, like people were getting threatened and assaulted for not paying their gambling debts. Yeah, this thing just becomes more and more. This is like something you see out of a Hollywood movie. The way this is being treated. And it says overall victims of the rigged poker scheme lost at least $7.15 million, according to court documents. And one person was specifically cheated out of 1.8.
Oh, so the people that were cheated on, though, are they innocent in this or no?
They were innocent people that got dragged into a game because they thought they were just playing a poker game with celebrities.
Oh, so they were cheated out of the winnings then.
Well, they were cheated out of their own money because it was their own money that they were playing in a cash game, so to speak.
Yeah, right.
And
which means too that they would have been cheated out of their potential winnings too.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah.
But first of all, why is Chauncey Billups, who made $110+ million in the NBA, he's making close to $5 million a year, being the head coach of the Portland Trailblazers. Terry Rozier, who is a current player in the NBA, making almost $27 million. And he admitted to defendants that he was pulling himself out of a game so that they could hit on $50,000 petty prop unders.
That's messed up.
Now, let me clarify one thing so people don't say certain things. Because people are going to say, well, $50,000 is a lot of money on a bet. Well, to
them, it was pocket change.
Right.
It's like this is no big deal.
Correct. So he was, like I said, he was supposed to make $27 million for this whole season. $50,000 prop bets are silly in that scheme of things.
Of course. Especially playing with all that money, millions of dollars. That's like chump change.
And this is the problem where these guys have all the power. They have millions of dollars. They have access to millions of dollars. They have access to many more people, which then leads people down a dangerous road into dangerous illegal activity. So I don't know how the NBA recovers. And so when Callan and I were watching the games on Playback, they interviewed Adam Silver, Commissioner Adam Silver, during the Knicks game on the opening of the Amazon Prime games. And he sounded like a scared, nervous wreck during the interview.
Because I'm sure he had no idea what to say. He was probably dumbfounded.
Right, but he claims, because I don't know if you heard about this in the story, the NBA did their due diligences on Terry Rozier.
Okay.
And they claimed that nothing happened, or not that nothing happened, that they cleared him of all wrongdoing, which doesn't make any sense that they cleared him of all wrongdoing, because then the FBI took him down in this investigation. So how does that make any sense?
I don't know.
So now the one thing I will say, and most people are confusing this when they look at this story,
okay,
is people think that the NBA can just take people's phones and records and all this stuff. The NBA can't do that. The FBI, who took over the investigation,
they can.
They have what's called subpoena power.
Exactly right.
So they could say, I'm subpoenaing your phone records, your bank records. The NBA can't do that. that's not in their jurisdiction as a league.
Right. Just like any other sports league can't do that.
Right. Just because they're a private entity doesn't mean they can just start going after people's records without subpoenas.
No, they can't do that.
So this thing just gets worse and worse and worse. And then we find out Kevin Garnett's name got floated into it because apparently he played in some of the poker games in 2019. Ty Lue, who is a head coach of the Clippers, was now the reports are he wasn't playing, but he was at the games, the poker games. And then we find out.
Yeah, but just physically being there, though, like, what could that possibly do? Like, maybe he got inside information or shit like that.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly right. Like, we don't know what his role is, but why are you there?
Right.
That's the weird part.
Right.
Then we find out the other day it's now reached the NFL circle because recently named Hall of Famer Antonio Gates was apparently hosting and taking part in these illegal poker games.
It's not good.
So I asked Callan this question. I want to ask you this question too.
Okay.
Because Chauncey Billups is a Hall of Famer. Antonio Gates is a Hall of Famer. Kevin Garnett is a Hall of Famer. Shouldn't there be some morality clauses that could be activated in the sense that you're involved with illegal activity in this way that maybe gets you bounced out of the Hall of Fame?
To an extent, yes.
Because I know baseball has that, where if you do something insanely illegal, they kick people out. Like Roberto Alomar was kicked out of the Hall of Fame due to some sexual assault issues that went down.
Interesting. Okay.
So I'd be curious to see what happens, but I'm trying to think, and Nikki and I discussed this, but I don't know what the solution is for the NBA because there's an extreme solution you can make and say they just don't allow prop bets anymore. But
I don't think he can do that. That's most of the NBA betting business.
No, I agree with you. So that's the extreme
They
option.
just need to regulate it more. There needs to be more. I don't know what that more is, but there needs to be more of a stipulation. I honestly think on all these betting platforms, they're starting to do it now. I've noticed it. But on all these betting platforms, I think you need to sign a waiver before you sign up.
Yeah.
That verifies, like, you need a wet signature or like a legitimate digital signature that verifies that you're not associated with any of these programs
or leagues.
In any way for you to use their services.
Well, when we sign, I'm sure you've done this and I've done this, like when we sign up for apps or like we did the Novig thing, we had to do it again when we signed up for it. They ask you for, was it Social Security or credit card information that they keep on file? That's how they keep track of who you are as an official document.
Yeah.
But here's the other ridiculous thing that came out, which is it wasn't the NBA who flagged on Terry Rozier when he was betting currently in the league. It was FanDuel that flagged the account.
Really?
So, first of all, how did they know it was Terry Rozier? How did they know it was an NBA player? And why was it?
And how could they verify? And how could they verify that the account was under him?
All good questions. I mean, unless they were able to say that, unless he was stupid enough to use his own name to create an account,
which would be so dumb.
I mean, would you put it past this crime ring that they'd be dumb enough to do things like that because they think their shit don't stink and they're not going to get caught?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But this is a terrible situation for the NBA, and to happen on the opening week of the NBA season starting.
That's even worse.
And Adam Silver doesn't have a clue because he said to Cassidy Hubbard on Prime Video that he thought that he cleared Terry Rozier. Well, guess what, Adam? The FBI went and arrested his ass,
Yeah.
and they arrested Chauncey Billups. They arrested Damon Jones. Like, does he not realize that he has like bad people inside his league that are doing dirty things?
Apparently not. I don't know.
But I don't think removing props is the answer because it's not fair to punish everybody because not everyone does illegal activity.
I don't think so either.
But the other thing I was thinking of, and I don't think you can do this either, is remove betting unders on props.
You can't.
I mean, you technically could, but I don't think that would be fair to everybody else either.
Well, because it would limit your options of what you could do.
Well, if you can't remove the props and you can't change the props, I think you just got to tell these NBA players, look, like, and I think, first of all, I think the NBA and the FBI are going to make a huge example out of these guys because this is a bad scheme and a bad scandal. But the NBA and Adam Silver need to come out and say, look, if you get caught in any form of gambling, you are permanently suspended from the NBA for the rest of your career.
Well, you would be banned, you mean?
That's what I meant. Permanently banned for the rest of your career. No ifs, no ands, no buts. If you get caught gambling, that's it. It's over. And not just the NBA. They need to put an end, and I think all leagues need to put an end to, if you're in a current league of any sort, you can't do any current betting on any other sport or your own.
Well, I don't know if you know this. You saw they changed it for college athletes, right?
Well, I was gonna ask you about that too.
Now you can bet on pro sports.
I think that is the biggest mistake that the NCAA could ever make.
I think so too.
I really do. What do you have to gain as the NCAA allowing college athletes to gamble on professional sports?
What do you have to gain? You have a crisis to gain on your hands.
Did you see also there was a school that was involved in some of this scandal too?
Oh yeah.
So, by the way, do you find it ironic or funny that that rule got announced and made permanent when this incident was coming to light?
Yeah, that's bad. I mean, I won't say specifics, but I used to, and it wasn't a high profile position, but let's just say I had a position in undergrad within the Illinois Athletic Department, and we had to sign every year a piece of paper with the wet signature or the degree to all these rules. And at the bottom, he said, if we catch you doing anything related to betting, you're officially banned, and you can't come back.
Right, because they need to protect integrity. That's why. It's all about integrity in sports. People forget that, well, you don't want to get caught doing dirty things because it affects our school or our franchise from doing anything that we want to do in the future. So, I don't know. This is a bad look. More names are going to come out of it. They're reportedly talking about hundreds of arrests from this thing. Money all over the place in the U.S., possibly foreign money. There was crypto scams attached to this too. Like, I don't know. This is bad, and the NBA has blood on their hands now, and I don't know how they fix it.
Wasn't there stuff from like other countries too?
It hasn't been officially reported yet on other countries, but I wouldn't be surprised if like the Bahamas, where a lot of gambling is done outside of the country, or China, or like there's I guarantee
Puerto Rico.
Yeah, we haven't seen anything yet. Or Mexico. We haven't seen anything yet. This is not over by any means. So when we get more information, we will share it. But this is a big gambling scheme that's rocking the NBA right now. All right, let's get into our NFL Week 8 recap. Interesting week in the NFL. You and I finally could say we got a Thursday night football game right on the over.
Yeah, we did.
And you and I think, had basically had that right because we were not sure about the spread on this game, even though the Chargers absolutely dominated the shit out of the Vikings, which I didn't expect. I don't know.
Absolutely.
The Chargers are
Absolutely.
a question mark to me, though. I just don't understand them as a team.
I don't either, but they did what they needed to do to win. They beat a Vikings team that doesn't have their starting quarterback, still could be coming back soon, which is a good sign for them. But I don't know. I think it was a win the Chargers needed for sure.
Yeah, and finally, Justin Herbert finally decided to actually have a decent game for a change. All right, now into the Sunday slate. I think the most shocking game of the entire Sunday slate. Dolphins Falcons. Dolphins 34, Falcons 10.
Yeah,
What
we got burned on this.
I think our whole football forecast got burned on this game. Um I don't know. The Falcons just stunned me this year because they have really good wins, and
We
then
had some horrible losses too.
they lost 30-0 to the Panthers earlier,
Yeah.
and now they lose 34-10. I think Tua had 4 touchdowns in this game,
Yeah, you had a career resurgence type of game. Yeah.
but do you think that this was the Dolphins finally having a decent game, or do you think this was the Falcons just totally getting destroyed?
The Falcons getting destroyed, I think. I mean, and it goes to show that the Falcons aren't very good unless they're playing opponents that they think they can beat, and apparently Miami wasn't one of those.
I mean, Michael Penix was out. I don't know if that would have changed much, but
I don't think so.
I mean, Kirk Cousins is just awful, awful as a quarterback. I think that he should retire. He looks that bad. All right, moving on. My Jets somehow get a victory.
Yeah,
Somehow.
shocking.
By the way,
They were down by a bunch too.
77 points scored in this game.
Insane.
I mean, do you remember what the over under was on this game? Because I do.
What was it?
It was 44 and a half. Is that crazy?
Yeah.
I mean, the Jets, it looked like they were going to get blown up and lose this game. Then they scored 23 points in the fourth quarter, the way they were trying to lose this game. And then the Bengals did lose the game.
Yeah.
I mean, the Bengals are a joke. And did we think coming into the season that the Bengals were going to be this bad? The Ravens were going to be this bad? No, right?
No, but now given who Cincinnati plays next week, I'm a little bit nervous.
Who are they playing next week?
The Bears.
I seriously think the Bears might have a chance in that game.
I hope
do.
so. If their offense played the way they did yesterday or Sunday against the Ravens, and that's a good segue into that, the Bears are going to have a tough November, I'd say. They're going to have a really tough November.
And then we move on to a team that's absolutely dominating right now, the Patriots.
Mhm.
Patriots are just absolutely dominating everybody. They're the first placed AFC East New England Patriots. Drake May looks unbelievable. I think he's leading the league in pass percentage.
Yeah. I think he's up there in the MVP discussion. I really do.
You beat me to that point. Yes, I think that he is in that MVP discussion.
They're just blowing teams out too.
Well, and by the way, the Browns are not a bad defense.
No, they're
either.
Not. And they made them look stupid.
So I would say him and Baker Mayfield are at the top of the list for MVP right now.
Mhm.
Currently, and then if you want to throw Jonathan Taylor in that discussion too, whether he's had incredible year, but Drake May, I think, has a chance potentially to be NFL MVP and make a playoff run, possibly.
I think so too.
Staying in that area of the country, Giants, Eagles. I think the Giants took another step back. Unfortunately, Cam Scatterbo with the injury, with a dislocated.
Not good for one of my fantasy teams.
Oh, do you have Scatterbo?
I do, yeah.
He was having a really good year up until this point.
Yeah, he was. Oh
And
yeah,
I think that's a season ender, I'm assuming, right?
I think so. I think so too.
I think it ended up having what, surgery like right after the game or something?
Yeah, and he's done for the season.
Yeah, that the Giants are just having bad luck with injuries. I mean, first it was Malik Neighbors, now it's Cam Scadaboo. Um, this season's a wash for
I think so too.
and Saquon had a really good game, 2 touchdowns. Then he came out of the game with a looked like a hamstring tightness. It looked like,
Yeah,
but they didn't really need him. Eagles win. They're now 6-2. Um, Bills, Panthers. This was kind of an embarrassment for the Panthers, like big time. Um,
I think so too.
Josh Allen, I think, had 2 rushing touchdowns of his own. I think in this game, there's not really much to write home here. The Bills did their business and won.
They did. They sure did.
All right, let's talk about Ravens Bears since we're now there. Um, this game was a little ugly at first, right? Would you say?
I would say so.
And then it just looked like the Bears defense fell apart in the like the end of the third, beginning of the fourth.
Yeah,
I,
absolutely.
I've said this many times. I feel like Caleb doesn't move the ball very well.
I
At,
don't think so either.
and also refusing to throw balls away, which I will never, ever, ever understand. Like, why is he like that?
Because he's stubborn sometimes.
And by the way, I think they have a really good running back in DeAndre Swift, too. And I
I
feel like
agree.
they don't use him enough. Um, the Ravens finally, obviously, Lamar was out. By the way, did you see that the NFL went after the Ravens for the bad listing of Lamar's injury?
Yeah, I did see that.
Did you think that was a little odd, or the way that it all went down, or no?
I do.
I don't know.
I
Like,
do.
how would you handle that situation? Because a lot of people are questioning like the way you could like write or list the injuries.
I mean, you just got to be as official with it as you can and credit the right source. That's how I would do it.
Well, I'm talking about from an NFL official standpoint when you have to list an injury or a status of somebody. Like, I don't think the NFL knows how to handle this properly.
I don't think so either. That's why
Um,
you got to wait for the official report before doing anything.
right, but it seems like teams just change it at the last second
I know.
sometimes,
I know. I
which
don't
is
know.
which is odd. Another game we all got burnt on. Texans 49ers. We thought the Niners were going to win that game,
Yeah,
and CJ Stroud finally had a coming out party.
you
Like,
sure did. I don't know if this saves Houston's season, but it's something.
I mean, they're 3-4. They have a chance to get back to 500 this coming week. That division is just a monster. Like, just it's not great.
No, it's not.
Bucks, Saints. The Saints are a bad team. They're just a really bad team.
Yeah, that's why I was confident with my lock this week.
You and I both locked the same game,
Yeah,
actually.
yeah.
I just knew. I mean, they did come out a little sluggish out of the gate, but then Baker woke up and said, "All right, I got to take control of this game." Spencer Rattler is not going to be an NFL quarterback much longer. I
I
don't
don't
think.
think so either.
Cowboys, Broncos. Broncos look good. 44 points. Cowboys look bad. Dak looked a step slow. He can't get out of the pocket.
No, he can't.
I think the Cowboys season is going to be washed
You think
soon.
so?
They're 3-4. I mean, that division. Think about the teams that are in there. So, Eagles. Well, the Commanders are not playing great. Giants now have the injuries. Maybe they're not as washed as I thought, but they're not beating the Eagles at all.
Well, they're gonna more than likely win Monday night this week against Arizona. No,
I don't know anymore what to believe with Arizona sometimes because I just don't know. That situation is
They're staring at 2 guaranteed losses 2 weeks in a row, I can tell you that. Thanksgiving against Kansas City and then the week before against Dallas or
man.
against the Eagles.
You mean against the Eagles? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're gonna get destroyed.
They might
Both those
lose
games.
they might lose 4 games in a row starting at the end of November.
Yeah, I agree with you totally. Um, and then quickly, Colts Titans. That was the biggest spread of the week. We ended up getting that one right by quite a
Yeah.
bit.
Yeah, that was a good win for the Colts. They're playing really good football right now.
I mean, best record in the NFL, 7-1. So,
Yeah.
could you see them being like a home field going into the playoffs?
I
Like,
could. I mean, let's take a look at the remaining schedule. It might be worth looking at.
well, while you're quickly looking that up, just the last game, Packers Steelers, incredible game, Aaron Rodgers revenge game. By the way, Jordan Love had a game for the ages. Totally. Um, I don't know. Like, how would you put that game quickly into perspective? And then we'll go back and look at the Colts schedule.
It's Mike Tomlin blowing the game at the end of the game. And just the clock management at the end of the game was bad
Terrible.
too.
Terrible.
So bad. That's two out of the last 3 games where he's shot himself in the foot.
His clock management skills are atrocious at times.
So speaking of the Steelers, they play the Colts this Sunday in Pittsburgh. Then the Colts host Atlanta. But I
Yeah.
think is that an international game because it's an 8:30 game. Where's that game at?
What, the Colts game?
Yeah, against the Falcons.
If it's 8:30 a.m. your time, then it is an international game.
Oh, it's at Olympia Stadium. Okay.
I think that's Berlin.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then they go on the road for 2 games. They play the Jaguars and the Seahawks. Then they come home and they play the 49ers. And then they play 2 AFC South rematches in the final 2 games of the year. Home against Jacksonville and then on the road against Houston. So they have a chance to finish up pretty well. They might lose a couple in there, but it's a pretty manageable schedule minus the Chiefs game on November 23rd in Kansas City.
You know what though? Would you put it past them though to beat Kansas City on the road?
Given how surprising they've been, no.
So I'm trying to look at the games that's a potential lose game for them, but
Well, that's a potential you win. You're almost guaranteed the number 1 seed in the AFC. I think.
yeah, they're already 7-1. Like, so if they win like another 2 games, I think that they'll be fine.
The only guaranteed loss I see besides that is going to Seattle's tough.
And Seattle's had a good year too.
Yeah.
But they should beat Pittsburgh. They should beat Atlanta. Kansas City might be a tough.
That Chiefs game is going to be gigantic. I think if CBS is smart, most of the country that week will get that. I think.
But technically, they should be 9-1 going into the Kansas City game,
right?
Which would be insane. Imagine going in 9-1 and having the potential to be double-digit wins on the road in Kansas City.
Yeah, before Thanksgiving.
That would almost guarantee them a 1 seed there.
I think so too. And speaking of, we were talking about the Steelers now going over to Pittsburgh's schedule. They're 4-3, but they're a sluggish 4-3. Well, it's funny. They have my team on the schedule in a couple weeks. I actually might be at that game. I don't know yet, but they play the Colts at home. Obviously, they could lose that. They'll go to the Chargers and they'll probably lose that. They play the Bengals at home. That's a winnable game. And then the Bears, you don't know. That's a coin flip. You don't know what Bears team is going to show up. And then you have a potential sluggish end to the year. You could lose to the Bills on November 30th. And then they go to Baltimore. Lamar's going to be back by then, so the Ravens win that. They'll win them. I mean, I don't know. They could barely sneak into the playoffs, or they might not even make it because this is who they have after Baltimore. They have to host Miami, go to Detroit, and then play the Browns and Bengals to end the year, or Browns and Ravens to end the year. The Ravens game is at home, the last game of the year.
Well, let's talk about since we're at the halfway point, kind of the way too early NFL playoffs outlook. Just looking at the different divisions, I would say, well, I guess we'll start on the AFC side. New England 6-2, Buffalo 5-2. I think those are the only two locks out of that division. And then AFC North. Now, Pittsburgh is at the top right now with 4-3 record. Then
So right now, according to NFL.com, the one seed, if the season ended today, would be the Colts for the AFC, and the one seed for the NFC would be Green Bay.
That would be interesting.
And then the 2 seed for the AFC is New England, and the 2 seed for the NFC is the Eagles. 3 seed is Denver on the AFC side, which is insane. 3 seed over on the NFC side is Tampa, and then the 4 seed, even though they're not playing great, Pittsburgh would be the 4 seed right now. Seattle would be the NFC West champion and the 4 seed in the NFC. The Bills are the 5 seed on the AFC side. Detroit slides into the 5th seed. Actually, the Rams slid into the 6th seed as well. They would have overtook Chicago. And the Chargers on the AFC side are also the 6th seed. And then the 7th seed, the Jaguars would be in as the last wild card. And then the 49ers would be the other wild card team. And the Bears would be right outside San Francisco. Right now, it's the 8th seed at the moment. So
yeah, it's interesting to see where we are at the playoff race. I mean, the one division that I didn't think was going to be close as it was the AFC North.
yeah.
I would say because Baltimore flamed out at 2-5, and since he's 3-5, there were a lot of sports books that had the Ravens winning 12, 13 games.
Yeah.
Which obviously is not going to happen now.
Yeah.
AFC South ended up being a much better division than everybody thought. Also,
Right.
obviously the Colts are going to run away with that division being 7-1. So there's really no other clear cut there. AFC West, Denver did exactly what I expected going into the season. Now being 6-2, I think Bo Nix has looked really well so far. Chargers 5-3. Another shocker, Kansas City being 4-3, being third in their division.
Right.
NFC side, Eagles not surprising 6-2. Everybody else is under 500, so the Eagles are going to run away with that. Their division. Green Bay's 5-1. Actually, the NFC North is probably the best division right now, in my book. Would you agree?
I would.
Because Green Bay's playing good football, Detroit's playing good football. Chicago's just got to catch some breaks and win.
I agree.
And then Minnesota, even at 3-4, like they could legitimately make the playoffs if they can figure out their quarterback situation.
I agree with you.
NFC South is kind of a joke, except for the Bucks, who are going to be up there as like a 3 seed at best. Panthers stink. Falcons are not great. And obviously the Saints. And then the NFC West, you have 3 possible teams that could make the playoffs there.
Nuts.
Seattle's having a really good year.
Except for Arizona.
Yeah, except for Arizona. Arizona's 2-5. But everybody else is either 5-2 or 5-3.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
So,
and some of those tiebreakers could play a huge factor at the end of the year based on who beats who. You know that.
oh, well, you're talking about like division head to head.
Yeah.
I mean, I could see this year coming down to final weeks for a change.
I hope so too.
And I hope it does, because sometimes the last couple of weeks are just duds in the NFL.
I know.
And it's hard to watch, but
especially week 18.
Well, and then you get that annoying thing for week 18 where they don't even tell you when the days and the times are technically going to be for all the games, because the NFL wants to keep you on your toes for no apparent reason. But
oh yeah,
we'll kind of see what happens there. All right, let's keep moving. Let's talk about the AP poll. So do we have a current AP
Yeah, it
25
came out
total?
on Sunday.
What?
It came out on Sunday.
All right. So I think this is the current poll. Okay, as of the 26th. Okay.
Yep.
So Ohio State, Indiana, which by the way had another huge win.
56-6 this time, still undefeated.
And I would say that's a pretty big win,
I would
too.
say so. And they beat a UCLA team that had a very slim chance to win out and go to the Big Ten championship. Now UCLA fans should be rooting for a bowl game, if that.
If
So
that.
yeah.
All right. So Ohio State, Indiana, Texas A&M, which again undefeated, having a really good year.
How many spots did they go up again after that?
They didn't move.
Oh, okay.
They're the same spot. The top 6 teams are all in the same spot.
Okay.
So Alabama at 4, Georgia at 5, Oregon at 6. Ole Miss moved up 1 to the 7th spot when Georgia Tech went down 1 spot. So they flip-flopped.
Okay.
Vanderbilt at 9, flip-flopped with Miami, who went down to 10.
Okay.
BYU is now in the top 10.
Yeah, because they beat I think it was Iowa State. Is that what it says?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Notre Dame surprisingly did not move, even with the 2 losses.
Well, they didn't play anybody.
No, I know, but again, like it still bothers me like that we don't affect records. And then Texas Tech is 13. Let's see here. So Texas Tech moved up 1. Tennessee moved up 3 spots to 14.
Yeah, they played well this week.
Virginia 15, Louisville 16. So Louisville moved up 3 spots to 16. Virginia moved up 1 spot to 15. Cincinnati moved up 4 spots to 17.
Yeah, they had a big win.
And Oklahoma went down 5 spots to 18.
Yeah, because they lost to Ole Miss.
Missouri moved down 4 spots to 19.
Because they lost to Vanderbilt. I don't know if you saw the end of it, but it was crazy. Yeah.
Texas is up 2 spots to 20. Michigan moved up 4 spots from 25 to 21.
See, this doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. Oh my god. See, it's the same argument I gave you 2 weeks ago. How can you put a team higher than a team that you lost to? Because look, you're gonna look at the bottom and you'll see what I'm talking about. Because USC got in, USC is now in it, but somehow they're still ranked below Michigan, even though they killed Michigan 3 weeks ago.
Right. So Houston's 22, USC's 23, Utah is 24.
USC slid into Illinois' original spot because Illinois was number 23.
Right, and Memphis rounds it out at 25. Illinois did receive 3 votes,
which is actually crazy, but okay. I wouldn't have given him any votes. I mean, the Washington. See, this is what I don't get either. I think Washington is better than some of those teams that you said at the bottom. I think Washington deserves to be ranked at 6-2.
Well, Washington got 46 votes.
It's insane they weren't ranked.
But yeah, like a lot of movement in the top 25.
What do you think of the movement?
Again, my argument is that the stupid rankings should not start until the playoff rankings officially take over.
Memphis should be ranked higher at 7-1.
Yeah, I do. I don't like that 2 lost teams are getting ranked above 1 lost teams. Sorry, and people are going to say, well, those teams probably had this level loss compared to this level loss. It's all a loss in the scheme of things, no?
I would agree, but then people are going to make the argument and say, well, those other teams that were ranked ahead of them played a tougher schedule so far than Memphis did.
I mean, Nick and I argued.
I think winning 7 of 8 games is still winning 7 of 8 games, though.
That's the point I'm trying to make. Like, BYU, I feel like, is getting dissed still, being undefeated.
You think
They're
BYU should be what top? Well, aren't they top 10?
well, they're at 10. Literally at 10.
Well, yeah, that still quantifies as top 10 team.
No, I'm just saying. But like BYU, I'm looking at above them. Actually, I just picked this up. I didn't realize it. They actually have Miami and BYU both as 10.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay,
Can they even do that?
yeah, they can.
So they don't have an 11th ranked team?
Yeah, because they both think they're both so good that there's probably no point, or maybe there were too many votes for 10 that they just said screw it. We'll put two tens in, and that's what they did.
That's weird. But when I look above BYU, that's 8-0. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 6 one-loss teams ahead of them.
It's pretty crazy, isn't it?
And people, and like I had an argument with some other people that I took some college football with, where I said, "How can an undefeated team not be in the top 5? How?"
Yeah, because they're undefeated, right?
Yeah,
And
and
what was their argument?
they gave me the same ridiculous argument that like Nick D gave me and some other people gave me, like, well, you got to look at the conferences, and I said, screw the conferences, I don't care. You still have to win the damn games.
Right. Because if you don't win the damn games, you're not going to be ranked at all.
I mean, I get why. Like, I guarantee you, if I look at Ohio State's schedule at 7-0, how many of those games are games that were so easy that they didn't even have to try in them?
Wait, with the schedule so far?
I'm saying because they're 7-0.
Yeah.
How many of those games would you say like you knew going in they were going to win?
I watched all of them, and probably 6 of them, you were like, yeah, Ohio State's going to win by a zillion. The only game where you really weren't sure was Texas, which was the first game of the season.
So why do they get a pass for winning easier games, but BYU does not?
Big brand bias. That's why.
And that's a problem in my book.
Unfortunately.
Like, it's the whole Notre Dame argument again. And sorry, Johnny, because I know you listen to this show every week. Notre Dame should not be ranked 12 at 5-2.
Where do you think they should be ranked?
Somewhere in the 20s.
I think so too. I mean, look at where Illinois was ranked with 2 losses. They were 23, and they've lost to number 1 and number 2 in the country.
And by the way, the NCAA is never going to tell you this or anybody this. It's because they have a giant deal with NBC. They're not going to let them drop that low in the rankings.
I don't think so either.
Do you know how much money that's netting Notre Dame and the NCAA?
In oozle of it, a lot of money.
Millions. Just say millions because it's millions.
Oh yeah.
So if Notre Dame does not make the college football playoff, what happens to the money?
It's gone.
It's gone. And they're not making millions anymore. And that's the problem I have with this, because Notre Dame should be somewhere in the 20s, even close to the bottom of the 25 when it comes to the rate.
Right, exactly.
It's almost like a situation where, like, look, Notre Dame's the best 2-loss team in the college football rank. What kind of sentence is that?
Well, that is kind of true, though. They lost to A&M, who's 3, and they lost to Miami, who's 10.
No, but just think about that sentence I said, though. They're the best 2-loss team in college football.
Well, my question would be, how can you be the best at losing?
Thank you! You're the only one who's actually understanding the logic that I'm putting out there. If you're a 2-loss team, you can't be in the top 15 in the rankings.
I agree with that.
Because there are teams below Notre Dame that are 1-loss teams.
You name a couple of them?
Quite a few.
Okay.
Texas Tech, Virginia, Louisville, Cincinnati, all below Notre Dame.
Two of them, I think, are just as good as Notre Dame. At least two.
We need to stop with the brand bias when it comes to the NCAA. And I'm sure we've said this many times before, including during March Madness. I think the NCAA is one of the more corrupt organizations.
Oh, a lot of people believe that. It's not just you.
But I'm just saying generally. Like, I think they're a corrupt organization, and they will do anything in their power to make sure Notre Dame gets into this college football playoff. Well, tell me the evidence that doesn't say it.
No, I don't disagree. I'm just laughing at how dumb it is, because every year people have the same argument and every year the same thing happens.
Because I guarantee you, if you gave a lie detector test to the NCAA brass and they said, would you be okay with Notre Dame not making the college football playoff? They would flunk so damn hard that like the machine would break.
Oh, I actually think that's a good teaser. You should clip that.
You're welcome, America. I just made your quote for today. But I don't know. Like, am I surprised by the rest of the rankings? No. Because
are you surprised, though, that Washington isn't in the rankings? I'm genuinely surprised.
A little bit. Yeah. I mean, because they're playing good football. Like,
not only did they beat Illinois, it's going to be blunt. They kicked our ass. They kicked
your butts pretty well.
It was as simple as that. I mean, 42-25. Damon Williams had a game at quarterback. Jonah Coleman is one of the most underrated receivers in the country. But what I don't understand is this is the same Washington team that 1 week earlier went to Ann Arbor and couldn't move the ball against Michigan. So I don't know what happened.
This is my argument, though. That going back to my argument again of we need to stop ranking losses. We need to rank football, not losses.
No, I'm just making a general point.
No. I agree with you. I'm just saying, like, we have to. This is the problem with these polls where they're saying, well, against this team, they didn't do what they were supposed to do, but against this team, you did what you were supposed to. Who cares what team it's against?
In the NFL, they don't care.
Can you imagine if, if you took my team as the Jets, just as an outlier example, and they said, oh, well, magically you beat the Chiefs, so this win counts way more than a win against the Titans.
It's so stupid.
I know that's such a extreme example, but you understand
it's very extreme.
You understand where I'm coming from with that.
Like, all of a sudden the NFL says, oh yeah, because your one win is against the Chiefs, you're all of a sudden the top 3 seed in the AFC.
Thank you. Exactly. Like, you beat the Chiefs and you beat the Lions and the Colts. So because your 3 major wins are better than this team, you get to be the top team in the NFL playoffs this year.
It's goofy.
That's why I said the college football system is broken. Like, just give me wins and losses. That's all I care about in this scenario. And Nick D was trying to explain it to me that you can't do it that way because certain conferences are better than other. Well, I have a simple way to fix this scenario. And if the NCAA would actually watch our show, I could provide you something that would actually work. Okay?
Okay, so what is that?
NCAA, listen, I'm going to tell you something right now. Okay? Full conference, the full year of the schedule.
So every game is a conference game.
Every game is a conference game. Until you get...
Because then it takes away the dumb games between, Illinois and Western Illinois, where that Illinois is going to win by 50 and the game doesn't really count.
But let me play this out for you, okay? Full conference schedule, no BS games, no pay-for-play games. It's a full conference schedule. You play your full conference all the way through the year until you get to the college football playoff. The best teams with the best records come out of each conference. How many teams are there? 12. So,
No, it's different. So in the Big Ten,
well,
there's
no, I'm talking about the playoff. How many teams make the
oh,
playoff?
12 teams make it in.
So, what do we have? 5 conferences?
Yeah,
4?
4.
Okay. 3 teams from each conference make up the college football playoff to make the 12 teams.
Right. Well, technically there's 5 because they add one group of 5 team. But I get what you mean.
But I'm just saying, you take the top 2 or 3 teams from each, and if you have to include an independent for Notre Dame, you can. But my point is, just make it the best teams in each conference. Screw the individual games. I don't need all these what they call rivalry matchups that they make. What was the one that they were obsessing over? USC and
Notre Dame.
where they just made this new like 3-year arrangement or
Yeah,
something. That game means nothing. Nothing.
because they're both not in the same conference.
They're not. They're doing it because it's TV ratings for NBC. For
Oh, I
crying
know,
out loud.
I know that. And as someone who's been to a USC Notre Dame game before, I can attest.
So just give me a conference schedule for the whole year. Because then you can judge it by record and not by which loss is better than the other.
Well, then what do you do with Notre Dame that makes their own schedule then?
They're not allowed.
Oh, they wouldn't be allowed in.
No, I'm saying they get a schedule. The NCAA's got to step in.
Oh, so the NCAA makes the Notre Dame schedule then.
Yeah. No more bullshit when it comes to picking these ridiculous games. That's out the window. You can no longer pay a school to have like Illinois State, or
Right.
or Dominion, or all those weird schools that get paid.
Yeah. Even your alma mater.
Yeah, you're right. I can't deny that. You're right.
I mean, hey, Florida played Long Island. It's one of Florida's couple wins against Long Island.
Yeah, I remember. But that's it. Pay for play games are done. That's my soapbox plea for this week. Get rid of the pay for play games and make it a full conference schedule, and then you can't judge losses.
Because then the best teams are playing the best teams every week.
Correct. Yes. There you go, NCAA. I made your financial plan for you. I'm not charging
Actually, it would make the sport of college football bigger than it already is. Because every game would mean something.
And by the way, full disclosure, I'm still making my way into liking college football, but I at least I don't have to I don't have to be able to understand college football to understand logic. So,
which is
there you
something
go.
the NCAA doesn't like to follow most of the time.
This goes back to the NCAA being a corrupt organization. Because their excuse is, oh, well, we rank the losses because we want to make sure we get USC and we get I have the rankings here again. We have to get Ohio State, we have to get Alabama, we have to get Georgia and Oregon and LSU. Well, I don't know about LSU, but basically we have to make sure we get the top teams. We have to make sure we get the schools that have the biggest NIL budgets, because if we don't, we look like idiots.
Do you think they'd find a way to finagle a 9-3 LSU into the playoff?
Probably not, just because they're not a good team right now.
But you know it would infuriate me if a 9-3 LSU got in over 9-3 Illinois. I'm just saying.
Wait, that goes back to your brand bias scenario, though.
No, I know.
Because I'll tell you right now, and this is no.
My argument for Illinois specifically would be who lost to both the number 1 and number 2 teams in the nation in the same season.
Correct, but my point is, like, I don't think they're going to put them in, because usually when a coaching change happens, like, they don't touch those teams usually.
I don't think so either.
But would I be surprised if they both finished with 3 losses and they chose LSU over Illinois?
No, I wouldn't be surprised.
And no offense to Illinois, because I think Illinois can be a good team, but they're going to pick LSU 99 times out of 100 over Illinois. And it has nothing to do with the wins and the losses. That's why I'm saying this whole thing.
I know.
Okay, I've yelled and screamed about this topic too much, and we're way over time, so we have to get through
Yeah, we do.
The rest of this.
Hey fans, Novig is here to change the way you play. Available in 35 states, including California, Texas, Florida, and New York, Novig is America's #1 sports prediction market, and it's 10 times more profitable than traditional sports books because there's no house edge. Instead, you're betting directly against other sports fans just like yourself. Novig is also the only free exchange, which means you keep every dollar you win. Whether you're putting plays down on the NFL, the NBA, the NHL, Major League Baseball, college sports, or even UFC and tennis, Novig gives you the power to pick the best odds, or better yet, set your own. Sign up today with the code ETB Network, and you'll get 1,000 Novig coins plus $5 in Novig cash, and special bonus offers like spending $5 and getting $50 back. Novig, where fans play smarter. You must be 21 years or older to play. Please gamble responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Empty the Bench is presented by Playback. Watching sports is more fun with others, but we spend too much of our time watching alone. Playback is a virtual space where communities can stream live sports together with everyone perfectly synced up. Creators can hop on stage, deliver their own play-by-play analysis and commentary, and invite viewers up for Q&A. Playback makes watching sports fully interactive and a social experience. From playing fantasy sports, repping your favorite players and teams, and watching with the commentators and communities you care about. Win or lose, sports are best enjoyed together. Join our community by going to playback.tv/ETB Network to find out more, including our live stream schedule. And now back to the show. ETB Sports Odds presented by Novig. Let's get into Thursday Night Football. Week 9, Ravens 7.5-point favorite at the Dolphins, over under 49.5. This is a terrible game.
Yeah, it's a bad game, but I know we're recording this on Monday. It doesn't come out till Wednesday. I'm gonna go off the assumption that Lamar actually plays in the game. I'm gonna have hope that he'll be ready to go.
Yeah.
Hopefully by the time they play. So I actually like the Ravens to cover it on the road and win the game. What about you?
Yeah, I mean, the hook's a little scary in this one just because I don't know what to expect from the Ravens defense, but the Dolphins are just so bad. Now,
and I think the reason why they won, I figured it out. The reason why they won this past week was because they were playing Atlanta, and Atlanta just isn't very good.
Yeah, I mean, the offensive weapons are way better in Baltimore than they are in Miami.
And all the Ravens have to do is run the ball with Derrick Henry, and they'll be all right.
Yeah, I mean, and also just the wide receiver situation in Miami is not great. Tua, I think, just had a lucky game, to be quite honest. The Atlanta's defense has got holes in it. So, yeah, I'm going to take the Ravens -7.5. The over's too high, just in my opinion.
Too high.
So that's why I'm going to take the Ravens -7.5.
Yeah, hopefully I can go 3 for 3 on Thursday night. You have a chance to win back-to-back because I don't think you won 2 weeks ago. So
yeah, I think you're right. I won back-to-back locks for the first time this year, though.
Yeah, you did.
It's about time. I had a good week. I think a lot of us had a really good week this week.
I had an okay week. I hit on some big winners, though. That's now 3 straight locks for me in a row. I'm 5-3 in that category.
All right. One last topic because we're way over time here. Let's talk about this. So UFC 321, Aspinall-Gane ends in a no contest. I think I yelled and screamed about this you and I were talking about this on a call where I said a poke in the eye by an opponent should be considered a disqualification for causing a fight to end.
Yeah, and instead it was ruled an accidental foul.
But I know, like, these are controversial when they make these calls. Did it end instantly, or did he try to come back?
So what they do is when you get poked in the eye, you get an allotted 5 minutes to recover. And if you can't recover after 5 minutes or say you can't see, they call the fight.
Now,
so
you said
5 minutes.
You said he was essentially blinded, though, right?
Yes. But no significant eye damage because all the medical results came back. So,
but still, like that's bad. Like,
yeah, it's not good.
Now, Ariel Helwani had the same opinion as I did after I had said it, that he agrees it should have been a DQ for Aspinall to win.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was asking you a bunch of questions before we started. Like,
Yeah, you were asking me a ton of questions to the point where I couldn't keep up. I'm saying that in a joking manner, but
Right.
you were asking a lot of questions.
because I kept saying, like, does the UFC have any pull in this situation? And I thought it was also interesting how fast Dana White in the post fight presser was already talking about a rematch already. How is that possible?
So they do business these days. They kind of just know. You just kind of know what to do as soon as things happen.
No, I get that, but how about making sure like the guy is okay before making rematches?
Well, you don't know if they've already. Well, the thing that we can't speculate is you don't know what they knew before he walked in the room.
No, I get that, but I don't know. I just feel like they're so fast to do things
Yeah, they do.
sometimes that you're like, and it's going to be interesting because you said it depends on when they reschedule the rematch.
I think so because it's gonna, based on when they do it, it could impact whether he fights in June or not. Meaning Aspinall.
Well, that has to do with what the 6 month medical lock or whatever they
Yeah,
have to do after they fight.
yeah.
So, well, you know that UFC can finagle that though, right?
No, I know that. I know
So,
that.
what is the point of having a 6 month medical lock if the UFC can finagle it?
I really don't know. That's a good question.
Because I've heard you say that before, like, oh, they're not supposed to fight for 6 months
Yeah.
after, and then which card was the one that who was it that had a fight on last minute's notice?
Oh, this was a year ago when Dan Ige fought Diego Lopez, and
I mean,
Ige fought on 6 hours' notice.
and I guarantee you that's not 100% legal. If I had to take a guess,
I don't think so either.
how did the UFC? I don't know if you know how the UFC finagled that one.
I really don't know. All I can say is Hunter Campbell is someone who doesn't take no for an answer because he was the one who got that whole thing done.
I remember you and I were watching that. We kept saying, like, wait, how are they going to replace this fight? And
Yeah,
then all of a sudden, Diego Lopez shows up in the building. And I'm like,
yeah,
wait, what?
yeah.
Was he there already watching the fight or no?
He was already there. Dan Ige wasn't already there though. But luckily, Dan Ige lives in Vegas, so all he had to do was drive to the arena.
And didn't they have to go through like a like makeshift weigh-in process and all that
Yeah,
stuff? Oh,
and they fought at a catch weight. I don't know what the catch weight was.
oh, right, because
They
they didn't know what he was going to be coming
right,
in.
but they agreed to the weight, and he made the weight, and then they fought. Yeah,
That's
and
still
he
wild.
almost won on 6 hours' notice. It was a great fight.
And by the way,
It was a great fight.
I really like Diego. I've had the chance to meet him at a Fanatics event. Like
Yes, you sure have.
he's like a super like guy personality.
Oh yeah,
Wise.
100%.
He's not an asshole. He doesn't like do stuff for the cameras or anything.
No,
Like
no, he's a very nice guy.
so, I was kind of happy when he won that fight. But um, I don't know. This is, by the way, Tom hit a huge parlay that would have been even bigger.
Yeah,
If,
had Aspinall won. He had a 7-leg parlay. Shout out to our friends over at Novig for that. We posted it all over social media.
that
It
was
was
it.
a
I think
nice
it was
one.
like plus 2,600 or something. It was
Yeah.
insane. Like,
Yeah. And he kept, what was funny was he kept texting me after every leg hit. He was so excited.
I mean, I don't blame him. Like, that was an incredible, even without the big fight, that was insane hitting on all those.
And he was initially upset because he was worried he was about to lose the play. When
Oh, yeah, that's right.
yeah.
Yeah.
He was like, "Oh my goodness, are they going to take it away?" And then thankfully they just avoided the Aspinall part.
Well, yeah, they're only going to avoid the one fight for the whole night. That wouldn't be fair to everybody else. But
Right. Kind of moving away from the no contest angle for a second. If they were to do a rematch, or do you think Aspinall tries to smoke him again.
Oh yeah, I think Aspinall's going to come out even fiercer in a rematch because it's like you said.
Which, by
And
the way, before the eye poke, just so you know, I don't know if you know,
he was
this,
getting destroyed. Yes,
he was losing the first round.
he was all bloodied, if I'm not
Yeah.
mistaken,
Oh
right?
yeah.
So I think that even though the poke did stop the fight, I think you know what I'm going to say. Also,
Yeah. Gane's gonna have to throw something lucky in order to have a chance in the rematch, right?
well, I wasn't even going to say that. I think that actually did him a favor. The eye poke.
Oh, Aspinall, you mean?
That's what I'm saying. Like
Yeah.
I think that almost did him a favor by stopping the fight because he was getting destroyed. Like he had no answers for Gone that night at
Could
all.
you imagine how messed up their plan would have been if Gane actually won?
But see, you're pointing out the point that I made to you, which like so if this fight was going the way it was going to go, Gone was probably going to win the fight. So what the hell would the UFC be cursing in the background after that fight if Gane had won?
Oh yeah, 100%.
And then they would have rushed to make a rematch anyway, probably.
Absolutely.
So, and Gane probably could have won that one again, to be honest, because the momentum would be on his side to win again. But
Yeah.
I
Knowing them, they probably would have hypothetically made him try to beat him 3 times.
that's crazy. I mean,
so crazy. I don't know.
but you know what? It was a good card for the most part. Where is UFC 322?
Madison Square Garden.
Oh, it's in my neck of the woods.
Yes, sir. Islam Makhachev and Jack Della Maddalena is the main event.
Is that going to be a good one?
Oh yeah. Islam's trying to win the welterweight title because he moved up. So.
And then you're hearing all these rumors of the heavyweight stuff coming out too, right?
With Jones and Pereira,
Yeah. Which, by the way, can Jones stop trolling on social media?
No. Pereira was the one that initially started the call out.
Then Jones.
Let's make the heavyweight division great again.
No, I get it, but then Jones just takes it like he doesn't go like a small step. Like he pushes that door open and just starts going at it. He reminds me of Dylan Dennis.
He's gonna egg him on for months, and then the fight won't happen.
Well, hey, doesn't it remind you a little bit of, ironically enough, Connor and Michael Chandler a little bit? Like,
absolutely.
Hey, Michael, let's fight. I'm gonna kick your ass. Oh wait, how many years has it been since Tough?
Well, next year it'll be 3.
Okay, and the fight still hasn't happened. So, I don't think they're ever going to get the answer to the Ultimate Fighter for that season ever.
Unfortunately, not.
Even though Connor came out again and said, I have my fight and it's all contract and ready to go." Yeah, and then Dana, who I think is being a complete BS artist and lying to everybody. Well, let me be clear. I'm the one who said this, not this guy. I said it.
I didn't say that.
That's why I'm clarifying. I'm the one who said that I think he's BSing the media. I think.
So do you think in your theory that you think the fight's already done and they can't say anything?
I think they've signed what's it called?
An NDA.
I think they've signed NDAs because they don't want to blow up the White House card at all. So,
blow it up as in like the fight's not happening, or that the fight is.
No. They don't want to. They don't want them revealing like before the UFC has the chance to over promote it.
Oh, okay. If they do that, it's going to be over promoted at nauseam.
You're gonna see it on TVs. You're gonna see it in digital. You're gonna see it everywhere.
You're going to see it every 5 commercials.
And I think you're going to see it promoted on CBS because of the new deal coming out.
Oh, yeah.
So,
people, the ordinary average person that doesn't even watch sports will know that will know more than likely that fight's happening.
Yeah, but long story short, my opinion, I think that Dana is BSing people and not. And basically, well, we haven't even determined the fights yet. Stop. We all know that you because I always make fun of this, and Zan laughs when I see it. When he does the video with the giant board with all the fights,
the war room is what they call it.
I guarantee you that they've already started to map this out because some of them can be determined already, technically, in a sense, couldn't they?
Technically, yes, but these next two cards, the Islam one and then the one in December with Marab and Peter Yan, those are going to be determining factors too, I think.
Right, but I'm saying like all the other big names, like they've already been figured out
Yeah,
for
they
the
can.
most part.
Yeah, they can figure out whether Sean O'Malley is going to be on the card. They could figure that out. They could figure out, whether if Hamzat Chimaev is going to be on the card, which would be insane because he doesn't have a fight right now. They could already start to figure stuff out now if they really wanted to.
And the Connor fight, technically, they could do that without because he's going to be on there regardless.
Right.
Connor and Chandler, they could, to be honest, they could announce the Connor versus Chandler card and they would get attention for a year.
Oh, yeah.
If they did that.
100%.
They keep getting asked questions about it at every post presser. And Dana keeps saying, we're not doing anything until February.
February? Yeah. Well, and why is February that specific?
Well, that's what he says, isn't it?
No, I know, but someone's gonna follow up and ask him what is the purpose behind February and not December and not January and why is you know what I mean? Like,
yes.
Why do you keep referencing February?
The last thing I'll say, because we're getting way over time here, is
it's a gigantic show. Oh my god!
Yeah, but how long does it take to put together a numbered card?
A good one, 8 to 10 weeks on average.
Oh, that's it? I thought it was much longer than that.
Yeah, they most of them they go pretty quick.
Well, let's do it this way. The White House card. How long do you think they are spending on that?
Couple months. I'd say they need 2.5 to 3 months, probably, because they want to try to make it the best card they've ever done. So it's gonna.
I would think so.
A lot of work.
But I don't know. Something is still like in the back of my head saying that Jones is somehow going to end up somewhere in some way on that card.
Even though 2 weeks ago you said he's not fighting on the card, so you're changing your stance now.
No, not completely. I feel like it's entering Dana's mind.
Okay.
I think that maybe I need to do this because it's the White House card.
Do you think because of this situation, it makes him more tempted to have Jones on the card?
I think so.
Now he doesn't know what Aspinall's eye is going to look like.
Yes, that's exactly it. I think that he's going to say, oh, wait, even though I think John Jones is a complete asshole and I can't stand him whatsoever, at least I know for the most part he's going to show up and fight.
It's going to be very, very interesting. And I can guarantee you, when it gets officially announced, there's going to be thousands of people who are going to be ecstatic, and there's going to be the other end of the social media MMA spectrum where people are going to be furious.
So
literally, there's going to be no extreme. There's people who are going to love it, and there's people going to absolutely hate it.
So when Connor versus Chandler gets announced, because I think that will be one of the first that gets announced.
Okay.
Do you think Tom is going to go off the wall when?
So is Jack. He hates that fight too. I'm the only one who likes it.
See, I don't lean one way or the other because I'm not as fully into it like you three are.
Well, you would watch that fight, right?
No, I would watch it. That's not the issue. I'm just saying I wouldn't say I hate it or I love it.
I get it.
But I would understand it.
That's how I feel about baseball most of the time.
But I wouldn't be surprised if that was the first fight to be announced. Just let me throw that out there because they could use that as the attention grabber fight.
Oh, of course. And if they make a promo out of it, they could run it over and over and over and over.
It's going to be sickening how many times they run it. But you know what? We'll see what happens with that card. It's going to be interesting. But this fight is now going to determine a lot of what goes down on that card because now they have to have a rematch and they got to do it in time before June.
I know they're probably going to do it. The rumor is either Vegas or London right now. That's the rumor.
I kind of hope it's London but we'll see
I hope so too.
what happens. But that'll do it for this episode of Empty the Bench. A
It was
longer.
a big show. Oh, sorry for probably annoying some of you there. We're gonna try to do better the next time.
Sorry, I had to go on a diatribe of how much I think the NCAA is corrupt. That's going to happen from time to time. But make sure you follow us on social media at ETB Sports, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok for our individual show page. Make sure to like and subscribe on YouTube, youtube.com/ETB Network. 4,000 hour watch goal for YouTube, so we can really grow this channel out. Please like, subscribe, and watch some videos on our channel. That helps us grow. Listen to Empty the Bench wherever you get your podcast. If you can't watch on the video side, that helps us out. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeart, Odyssey, everything is available. And finally, Empty the Bench is presented by Playback. Check us out. We are doing NBA streams. We're doing World Series streams. Hopefully, we're going to have college basketball, the March Madness tournament. Hopefully
we'll have the college football playoff too. That would be cool.
They did allow us to test the national championship last year, so hopefully that comes by. But we are way out of time now. So for Zain Bando, I'm Nick Morgasen. This has been episode 293. We will see you next week for episode 294. Have a good day, everybody.
Have a good day, everyone. And we promise it will be much, much shorter. We promise. So see you guys then, and have a good rest of your week.